Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. Hope each and every single one of you are doing well. The Premier League title race is back on this weekend. Two mouth-watering games. And the Premier League title race has got plenty of twists and turns. Mark my words. Both teams are in unbelievable form. Arsenal are firing in all cylinders, and Manchester City are finding a way to keep on winning. We're going to jump into everything. Make sure you go down, smash a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. We are slowly approaching 5,000 subscribers, which is the aim before the end of the season. So go down and show some support. We're going to start with Arsenal versus Bournemouth, as it's the early kickoff. And early kickoffs in Premier League title run-ins or Premier League title races have been a bit of a problem, to be honest. Man City have slipped up in the last couple of years. Liverpool have slipped up. Alex Ferguson wasn't too fond of them. Guardiola's not too fond of them. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Arsenal have got 3 Premier League finals remaining. And I am calling them Premier League finals because they essentially are cup finals. And you've got Bournemouth, who are an informed team, who are well-drilled, organised. They know their roles. They fight. They're determined. They're passionate. They've got some good players. They've got Dominic Solanke, who's on absolute fire at the moment. A potential golden boot winner. You got Manchester United, their game after that, and you got Everton. I'm going to be honest, I think Bournemouth's going to be the hardest game. I think Bournemouth can cause Arsenal some problems. I do expect Arsenal to win this game. I expect Arsenal to win this game relatively comfortably. They are on frightening form. They've won 4 of the last 5 games. A hiccup against Aston Villa. But since then, they beat Chelsea by destroying them. They comfortably beat Wolves in a professional performance, and they didn't even have to be at their best to flex on me, to flex on Spurs. They didn't have to be at their best. They had they stuck to their game plan, which was use set pieces, be a threat on the counter-attack. Arsenal knew their role, which was to come. You know you're not going to have a lot of the possession when you play an Ange Postecoglou's side, but they just flexed their muscles and quite easily scored 3 goals. And to be honest, probably could have scored another couple. Bournemouth, however, in relatively good form. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. 2 of their last 5 games, but before that, they won 3 of the last 5 before that. They're on good form. Where I think Arsenal win this game is I think Bournemouth are going to set up to counter. Now, Arsenal traditionally this season haven't struggled to break down low blocks. And they've shown that by scoring goals against the likes of Brighton, scoring goals against, Brentford, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, where they battered low blocks 6-0, 6-0, and 5-0. For me, I think if Martin Odegaard just shows 70% of the quality which we know he's got, Arsenal could score 4 goals against Bournemouth. As good as they are, and as great as they are, Arsenal have to win this game. The only thing that matters in this game for Arsenal, and as well as the game for Manchester City, is getting the result. Getting the result. That is the only thing that's important. Getting 3 points. Arsenal, once again, play before Manchester City. So they can put the pressure back on Manchester City. If City win their game in hand, we all know they go above Arsenal. Wolves, going to be a very, very, I think it's going to be a problem for City, but we'll get into that in a minute. Arsenal, I think, Bukayo Saka, the goal he scored against us last Sunday, he wasn't at his best, but the goal he scored, that's the good thing. When you got a player like Bukayo Saka, who doesn't need to play at his best, who can still get an assist and a goal, and the goal he took very, very, very well. Very, very well. He took the goal. He put Ben Davies on his backside. And as a fullback, it's absolutely diabolical defending, but it's a fantastic finish from Bukayo Saka. The way Bournemouth set up, they are traditionally have been a kind of low-end Premier League side. But this season, the new manager's come in. He's gone back to their strengths, which is a 4-4-2, which has worked effectively. Dominic Solanke can play up front with Semenyo, can play up front with Kluivert, or he goes to a 4-3-3. They've got a double pivot that works very well in Christie and Cook. Now, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard, for me, blitz that midfield. Arsenal are one of the most informed teams in the world. They're one of the best teams in the world for a reason. They're in a Premier League title race. At the end of the day, Arsenal should be dispatching Bournemouth. Respective of how good Bournemouth have been, Arsenal should be getting the job done here. And then it puts a hell of a lot of pressure on Manchester City. And Wolves have been a bogey team for them in recent years. And I remember a few years ago, Adama Traore turned up home and away against Manchester City. Wolves have already beaten City this season. They're not exactly in great form. You know, they did beat Luton last week, but they are on their day a very, very, very good counter-attacking team. You know, that a lot of their fans will be unhappy. Their recent performance, they've lost to West Ham, they've lost to Bournemouth, you know, and they had 10 men for a large percentage of that. They drew to Burnley, they lost to Villa, they lost to Arsenal. You know, they are due a win. And yes, they won their recent game against Luton. I think Wolves could cause an upset here. It wouldn't surprise me if Man City go and score 4 or 5 goals. But this is the sort of game where if Arsenal win, puts a bit of pressure on you. You know, I think Man City have been very good away from home this year at the Etihad. I don't think they've had too many 10 out of 10 performances this season. Of course, you don't need to have 10 out of 10 performances to win a Premier League, but Wolves can cause City some problems, just like Bournemouth can cause Arsenal some problems. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I'm looking forward to watching both games. I think quite comfortably Arsenal will beat Bournemouth. For score prediction, I'm going to go 3-0. They always keep clean sheets at home, you know, clean sheets at home against Chelsea, clean sheets at home against, you know, Luton, Sheffield United, Palace, West Ham, Liverpool, you know, Brighton. I think Arsenal are going to win 3-0. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them at times in the game. And Arteta's got to get his game management bang on. I was very impressed with his game management against us. I thought he brought on the substitutions at the right time. Manchester City is all about getting the job done as well. Man City have got 4 games left. They've got to play us, Spurs. They've got to play Wolves. They've got to play Fulham. You know, they're not easy games, but Man City have got this knack of whenever it comes down to the pressures on them, they deliver. But they've got some, you know, they've got unpredictable opponents. Fulham on their day put 3 goals past Spurs. The following week, lose at home to Newcastle. You know, Wolves, very, very unpredictable. One week they can beat Spurs and beat Chelsea. The following week, they lose to West Ham. Very unpredictable. It's all about what team turns up. But for Arsenal, Man City, it's about getting the job done. It's about getting the job done. You know, going into a week where you've got, you know, Manchester City have won 5 of the last 5 games. You know, on their day, they can quite easily put 4 or 5 goals past you like they showed against Palace, Luton and Brighton. But Wolves are an unpredictable team. And if you look at the Nottingham Forest game, Wolves should look at that and get some confidence because Chris Wood should have had a hat-trick on his own. You know, the ball just didn't seem to run for Forest that day. And they were fighting for their lives. You know, Manchester City, one of the best teams in the world and have shown that for the last decade. But I don't think they're going to go and steamroll Wolves. I know they're due a steamroll because they haven't really, you know, had too many 4 or 5-0 wins this season. But I just think Wolves could cause an upset. I think Arsenal will get the job done. And I think it's, you know, no one can really think, I don't think anyone will think Bournemouth's going to win this game, but I do think it's their hardest of their remaining fixtures. You know, and then we go into the next week, which will be Arsenal away to Manchester United and Manchester City away to Fulham. Of course, in that week, Manchester City have got the early kickoff. And then on Tuesday, they play Spurs. So, it's going to be a very, very, very interesting couple of weeks. You know, I've said for the last month or 2 months on this channel, it's going down to the very, very last day of the season. Both teams have got some tricky games in there, and we're going to see the mentality of both sets of players. Are they going to go and win a 4th league title in a row? Is Arteta going to get his first Premier League trophy as Arsenal manager? So many questions, so many twists and turns. We will be here every single step of the way of the title race. Make sure you lock in, subscribe to the channel, go down and like the video. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Arsenal match reaction, then a Man City match reaction. I'll see you all soon. Thank you all for watching. I am